Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing a swim analysis on a marathon runner's freestyle technique. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm Coach Mandy, and in today's video, as I described before, is that I'm going to be analyzing a marathon runner's freestyle technique. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the above water video, and I'm going to go ahead and play it all the way through, and then I'm going to move it frame by frame and break it down from there. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play it. All right, let's see what's going on right now. She's got a really smooth stroke for a marathon runner. Typically when I see runners, their stroke rate's really, really high and they're kicking a lot and it's really loud. So that's good that, she's very relaxed, and I can really see that. There's one thing though that it would need to be addressed immediately, and I'm going to go ahead and just really focus and prioritize on that in this video, because I see it all the time with runners and swimmers in general. So, and it has everything to do with this left arm exiting the water right here. This one right here. So what happens is, at first when she's exiting the water, it's coming up bent from the elbow, pretty much vertical, lifting up like that. And if I move it a few frames after, you'll start to see that the shoulder is going to move past the scapular plane right there. So the shoulder has now moved past the scapular plane. And if you want more info on what that is, I do have a link of my older video really going through the scapular plane linked in the description below. Okay, so moving forward with this is that the arm is now sweeping behind her spine here, and then because she's stuck, her hand has to kind of take over, and this arm is now pretty much completely vertical or 90 degrees on top. Yep, so pretty much stacked like that. And then what happens is she's able to recover with her entry right about here, which looks good. And I really like the entry, but the journey to get there is the part that's the issue, because right here, this is a source of shoulder impingement in swimming. If you're swimming for a long time, a lot of laps with that, you're going to start to feel shoulder pain, maybe on one side, maybe on both. If you start to feel that, you really want to assess what's going on, and it's probably because your arm is moving way past the scapular plane and it's just kind of an impinging movement. So what happens right here is that most likely we'll see in the underwater video is her body will probably sink a little bit under the surface of the water, and that just doesn't help in moving forward as much. So now I'm going to move it a little bit more. So I'm going to still address that problem right here. So right here, the arm is entering the water, and what happens is, because of that arm being stuck initially where it was, this arm moves straight all the way back, so she doesn't really get a catch out of the water, and it's really just from the shoulder. So it just seems very tight, when really she should be getting her momentum from her core and hips, which is kind of hard to do once you're lifting the arm like this out of the water. You see her right arm does the same thing. That bend happens here, and that's what I like to call the runner's elbow, because it's really simulating running, which is her normal pattern that she's done thousands and thousands of repetitions, which is then translating in the water. And because of that arm lifting like that, then she's going to lift her head out of the water too far, and she's going to look up to breathe because she's out of balance. So this is really what will be her priority in order to move forward and fix these things, so that number one, she feels easier with her shoulders and feeling pain, and two, actually feel momentum, and it makes it easier and it's more sustainable over time, especially if you're doing some distance swimming. Okay, so here's the underwater video. So definitely pay attention to that left arm, because I've been really focusing on that point of her stroke and what happens underwater and really how her shoulders look. So let's go through that right now. Okay, so I'm going to play it just like I did before. Okay, nice smooth stroke. There's not a lot of kicking. It's not a lot of power, so that's good. So it's not like she's rushed or anything or doing anything abruptly. Well, let's go back to right about here. So right now at this point, just like I pointed out in the above water video, is that arm is bending here on exit. And it's probably, in this case right now, probably about here where it gets kind of stuck. Now you can already see, if I focus in, her shoulders are basically retracting back like a seated row, and that's an indication that she is lifting the elbow improperly, which I've already pointed out, so you know that it's there, because this is a synced video. And from what happens is, because the shoulders look very tight, that this arm here is going to move back completely straight. She's going to lose a catch. It's either two ways. She's either going to, that arm's going to move completely straight back, which I kind of already saw in the above water video, or the elbow is going to break. And what I mean by that is the elbow is going to drop. So let's see what happens in the next few frames. Oh yeah, it goes back completely straight, and she braces her palm kind of with the water. So that's all from the shoulder. This entire arm moving back straight is all from the shoulder, which then resisting a complete wall of water. You don't really get to feel a glide. She's relaxed, but she doesn't really get to feel any kind of streamlining position in the water. So, and that's all from the forcing from the shoulder. And you can kind of see, even though she probably has a higher profile, that even with that arm bending, and she goes to breathe, so this arm is bent even further back because she's taking a breath, so it's going to be more exaggerated because of that. This arm is going to fall. So what happens is right here, that she completely has no stability for that breath. She's relying only on keeping her head position, which is actually very good. She's not even lifting her head at all, which is very impressive. She's not completely bringing her head out of the water due to what's going on right now, but it's easier for her to leave this arm out where it is in the right place if, I should actually put that in green. This arm should stay exactly where it is right now if the other arm, the high set arm, is releasing away from her body. That would keep her stability where it needs to be, and her body line would be really on the surface of the water. She'd feel true core stability, all of that, because she would let go of the tension and the power from her shoulders and really maximize and optimize rotating from her hips and stabilizing off her core. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. Yeah, so her arms are just moving too soon, don't really have a catch at all. You can't really form a catch if you're moving with that runner's elbow in the water. And that's where most people get really stuck. And, that's where the frustration happens from. So really the priority for her is to focus on that arm releasing wide and actually letting go of the tension in her shoulders. So not picking up with a bent elbow, versus she should release with a straight arm and then allow that bend to happen out front. The bend is a natural occurrence. It should be as she moves forward. So other than that, I mean, she's a great swimmer, especially for a marathon runner. These are definitely things to fix, but very possible. So in next week's video, you're going to see another session of hers with those priorities, and let's see, and I'll really show you guys what happens in her improvement moving forward in terms of momentum, in terms of stability, and just overall gliding. Okay, so I just want to do a recap about that again. I'm just going to play the above water video one more time and just kind of going through and outlining that one particular habit in the water or freestyle, and that is that runner's elbow. So I'm going to go ahead and play it again one more time. Okay, so what I mean by that release of the arm, just to point it out, is that the arm should be releasing. Okay, so right now it's picking up in the red, like say the red zone. That arm should be releasing out here. And then when the shoulder's relaxed, it's just going to move forward, and that bend is just going to naturally sweep forward and happen on its own. It's not something that you control. It's due to gravity and that arm being relaxed, or actually the shoulder being relaxed. So if you want to learn more about how to move that arm or shoulder in the right place, is watch that scapular plane video. It's very helpful. And overall, the feeling you should have when you swim, even if it's just a workout or an open water swim, is your shoulders should not feel fatigued. They shouldn't feel any pain. They should actually feel pretty light. You feel pretty good. And you should feel more fatigue in really muscular, not really your joints. So if you start to feel that, I would say address it immediately and just kind of go through these videos to help. But other than that, definitely stay tuned for next week, because I will be showing you part 2 of this series so you guys can compare and see any differences that she's made on this particular priority. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. Definitely stay tuned. And of course, if you like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends. And if you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button at the bottom right-hand corner. All right, you guys, I'm signing off. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, stay tuned for more.